All right, all right. Welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Hope you guys are doing well. Prophet John here. All righty. If you guys follow me on Currency 365 and you're watching my videos on a daily basis, you have heard me talk about taxes under Joe Biden, and I said, man, it's gonna be it's gonna be even worse than Obama's taxes, which were horrendous. Okay, under Donald Trump, taxes have been awesome. Okay, um and it's just, and also, um long-term capital gains for Donald Trump, I don't even think it's at 23. I think it's at 15. So this is not even telling the truth either. So, anyways, let's just talk about what happened. So, J.P. Morgan puts out a quote here about Biden's taxes proposals. Okay, so Biden's proposal is for a maximum tax rate for long-term capital gains to rise to 39.6%. Now, for investors and traders and day trade, this is not a good thing, right? Because if long term is at 39.6, what in the hell is short term? Right? You're talking about 50%, right? Or and maybe even 55%. That's socialism, by the way, right? So 39.6% for long-term capital gains, meaning that if you invest in a stock, like if you invest in Zinol and gas, which has been rising like crazy lately. If you guys have been watching that, remember I had a dream that it was going to $4.77. But anyways, if you invest in that, if you put $1 in that, okay, you have to hold it for more than 12 months. If you hold it for more than 12 months, then it becomes a long-term capital gains, okay? So then when you sell, you're gonna owe 39.6% on your gain, right? So if you made a gain, you owe 39.6% on it. Okay. So let's say you put $1 in it, and maybe you make $1. Okay. You're gonna own 39.6% on on that dollar that you made, right? Um, that's funny. But okay, so it says from currently 23.8%. That is not true. Donald Trump's long-term capital gains is not 23%. Anybody who did their taxes this year knows that that's a lie, right? Donald, and of course, J.P. Morgan is probably against Donald Trump because they're more liberal, but Donald Trump is not 23.8% for long-term capital gains. It's 15% for long-term, and he was actually thinking about moving it up to 10%. Just a couple of months ago, he was talking about moving it from 15% to 10%. Okay, for capital gains, for long-term capital gains. Short-term capital gains is 23.8%. So JP Morgan, I don't know. I think maybe they got that messed up. I don't know what happened there. But long-term capital gains taxes for Donald Trump is 15% right now, and short-term is 23%. Okay, around there, because we just did our taxes, and not to mention, most of us didn't even pay that because you get a lot of tax breaks under Donald Trump as well, and so most of us paid about 11% overall. Even with the short term and long term gains, most of us probably paid around 12%, 12 to 11%. I paid my taxes came out to about 11%. So you know what I mean. So that's awesome. Only paying 11% because you get tax breaks and all the other things. Okay, and those are already in there. You don't even have to do anything for those tax breaks. Okay, so that's awesome under Donald Trump. That's why everybody's in the markets because it's tax friendly. Okay, with all the tax breaks you get, you're gonna be paying only about 11% or even less in your taxes in the stock market. Okay, under Joe Biden though, 39.6% is long term. So that means short term gain is going to be about 50% to 55% for long term capital gains. For short term capital gains. Who's gonna want to? What new investor? What new day trader? The current day traders. Who would want to be in? Who would want to be in that environment where you at 50%? That means if I put $1,000 in a trade and I sell it that same day for 100% gains, right? Let's say I put it, I buy a stock and it goes up 100% that day. I sell it. Now I have $2,000. Well, now I owe 50% back, okay, in taxes. That is horrendous, okay? Under Donald Trump right now, it's 23. I think short term is about 23%. So they really just mixed that up between short term and long term. Long term is 15 under Donald Trump right now. Short term is 23. So under Donald Trump, it'll be 23%, but you also get the tax breaks. You know what I mean? At the on your taxes, I'm pretty sure there'll be tax breaks and what do you call it, Biden's taxes things as well. I'm pretty sure because that's how Donald Trump was able to not pay that much barely any taxes because there was tax breaks for the rich in his thing, right? So there will be tax breaks on there, but you're coming from you're coming from 50%. So let's say the tax breaks are in there and okay, now you're paying 37%. It's still daunting, right? From 23. 23, like I said, I did a lot of short-term gains in my portfolio, and I still with the tax breaks, it came out to 11%. Okay, so and 15% for long term. Short term was about 23. Okay, so under Biden it's going to be 39 and 50 plus. Yeah, ouch. Even with the tax breaks on there, you're still looking at about, golly, I mean, high 30s. Okay, so ouch, 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 right? You're looking at about 30 and 35, 37% in taxes that you're gonna have to pay, and even with all the tax breaks, so that's a lot. That's gonna keep a lot of new investors out of the markets. That people might just sell and move on, and then they'll make it even worse. To make it even worse under Biden, the dollar is going to be falling as well, right? Even doesn't matter if Trump is in there or Biden, the dollar is falling. The dollar has been falling since this whole year, right? So the dollar is falling. So not only are you losing purchasing power, you're now paying extreme amount of money in taxes while losing purchasing power. It is not a good environment for stocks. Okay. Now, the one good thing under Biden would be just short the crap out of the market, right? You know what I mean? Just everybody would become a short seller in the market, right? Just short the market, right? If you know that the dollar is falling and you know that, which most of the time that's good for the market when the dollar is falling, the markets usually go higher. But when the dollar keeps falling, then people are like, the stock that I'm in is losing purchasing power, right? Because the dollar keeps falling, right? So, but when you got these high taxes. So for me, if Biden did win, which we believe he won't win, right? We're but if he did miraculously win out of somewhere, for me, I would be shorting the markets heavily. Okay, now the markets should still go higher a little bit, maybe to another peak if Biden wins. The market will probably go a little bit higher because the Biden presidency would be pumping, the Feds would be pumping like crazy under Joe Biden, right? So the market might go a little bit higher as if Joe Biden shocked the world and won, and then they probably start tanking from there because the taxes would just be outrageous, and people just wouldn't. The environment wouldn't be good for new investors, current investors, old investors. It's like, man, I just went from freaking 15% long term to 39.6%, and then that includes you all that are working with your 401ks and your pensions. Imagine that. Imagine going from, you're pricing in your lifestyle at 15%, long-term gains, to now having to price in your retirement and your expenses at 39.6%. That is a huge difference. Okay, that is a huge that is like a difference between $1 million pension to $500,000 pension. That's a big difference. Okay, Good luck on that, right? So you better be praying that Joe Biden doesn't win this election somehow, some way, okay? Because you don't want that, all right? So, anyways, I'm gonna be after the elections. I'm gonna be short the market. Okay, so I'm gonna start dipping into the three stocks on Patreon, and after the elections, yeah, the markets could still go up a little bit more, but like Bo Poloni said, after the elections, the markets are gonna shift to a new timeline, and by April, May, June, and July, the markets are going to see another bottom, another crash to the bottom, and he believes it's going to be 15,000 Dow. Okay, and then that's not it. That's not over. It's not over yet because then the markets shift back up. And then the next cycle begins in 2022, and he believes in 2022, which is the last and final cycle of the Dow downward trend, and then it will be 5,000 to 6,000 Dow would be the final bottom of the Dow. So there you go. All right. So when everything finally crashes, all down to fair value for the Dow Jones, which is about 5 to 6,000, maybe even 4,000 on the Dow. Okay, so that's what we see. That's what Bo Poloni sees coming. So this year we got 17 to 18,000, right? Officially it was about 18,000 because 17,000 happened after hours. Yeah, 17,000 was after hours, I believe. I think we hit like 17,8, 17,8, 850 or something like that after hours. And then but officially we hit 18,000. So next year 15,000, maybe 14,000 after hours, pre-markets or something like that. All right, and then the next year after that, about 5 to 6,000 Dow. Okay, so you can play that, and you can know those cycles, and you can play it perfectly, and you can win big, right? So don't be greedy like we were. You know what I mean? We saw one of our, I mean, all the four stocks went up nicely, right? Even but we had one that went up to $1,000, and a lot of us got greedy and we thought it was going to go a little bit higher, and it didn't go higher, and we watched it go all the way up and watch it come all the way back down, and we still made a lot of money, but we didn't we didn't make life changing money. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, if you, I mean, look, six figures is still life changing money, but whatever. Okay. So that's it is what it is, man. I just I kick myself every day for that, man. I moved on though. I've moved on from that. I should have sold. I should have sold. But it is what it is. I still made a lot of money, but I could have made a lot more, and I could have done a lot more. I could have changed a lot of lives with that. But whatever, it is what it is. I learned my lesson. If you guys follow me on Patreon, we kicking it, man. You guys are killing it over there on Patreon, man. With the cryptos and the stocks and Zion and gas and everything, man. We're doing good. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Watch the cryptos this week. Actually next week I'm talking about next week. So watch the cryptos next week. Watch the stock market next week. Watch precious metals. They should skyrocket next week. But we'll talk about all that on Patreon. So you ain't worried about that over here. A lot of you guys want to stick with church stuff and Christ stuff and prayers and worship and politics. So it is what it is. That's what I'm doing. Joe Biden, you know, proposal is for maximum taxes, and I've been saying this the whole time. And people just didn't, I guess, didn't believe me. But it's a guy who worked under Barack Obama. It's the same, going to be the same policies basically that they ran under Obama, which is awful for America, awful for the bronze people. We get nothing under Biden's presidency. We get nothing but more mass incarceration and more headaches from the police. you know, it wouldn't be a pretty America for the bronze people. Matter of fact, they'll probably look to annihilate us completely under Biden's presidency, while they're saying Trump is the racist. Unbelievable. The guy who creates the crime bill that locks up 40 million of African Americans over the last 20 years or 30 years. He's not a racist, but the other guy is the racist. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Peace out. God bless, and please do not vote for Biden. God, I do not want to be paying 39 in taxes and 50% in short-term taxes. I don't feel like paying. I don't want to pay nothing in tax. How about that? How about tax free? How about Donald Trump stays in presidency and our currency reset is tax free? How about that for God's kingdom? How about how about the rise of silver and gold, right? For God's money. How about that? You know what I mean? So it's just prepare yourself for all that, right? Prepare yourself. Make sure you have your silver. Make sure you have your gold. Physical. I don't care about that paper stuff. Physical, right? Um, and make sure you have your cryptos in your own possession and your private keys, and make sure you have the stocks that you have, and watch them carefully. You should be watching your investments every day. You shouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna stop watching my investments for a week. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Right? You watch your investments every day. You peek at them, see what's going on, see what the charts are looking like, see what the news is, if there's any news, and make sure, because if something goes red, if you see red flags, you want to be able to move quickly and get out of that sector, if that sector has red flags, and yourselves from the heartbreak of losing 20, 30, 40, 50%, right? So you need to be checking on your investments all the time. Anyways, that's it. Peace out. God bless. And hopefully President Trump wins this. The prophetic words have already been clear. And I don't know I haven't met one, like Marcus Rogers said, I ain't met one person that has had a dream or a prophetic vision that Biden has wins. So it would be literally a miracle if Biden won that. It would shock the world, because prophetically, at least, right? Because we ain't none of us have had a vision of Biden winning. God gives me dreams all the time. I ain't had one dream about Biden winning the presidency. Okay, maybe I will. Maybe God will give me a vision of the presidency in the next few weeks, because we're getting closer, right? So I don't know. Remember when Hillary and Trump was, we were weeks away from that, and I kept saying Hillary was going to win because that's what the code said, right? And then God shows me a vision of Trump winning, and Trump winning, and I told you guys I was at the basketball courts and I made the video, and I was like, God just showed me a vision that Trump wins the elections. Remember that? And I was like, I'm still sticking with Hillary. What a dummy I was, right? But at least God showed me that Hillary was going to win, right? So, and he showed Prophet Solomon as well. He showed Prophet Solomon that Trump was going to win, and Prophet Solomon was like, I can't believe that. I'm going to stick with Hillary too. Remember that? We were stubborn. We were stubborn. My codes had Hillary winning because she was going to cheat, right? And you can see now that she cheated, and then she tried to twist it to make it look like Donald Trump cheated with Russia. And I told you guys about that as well. And I told you there was secret meetings with her and Obama and others and Biden in those meetings about Russia, and now you're seeing that stuff now. So it was all planned, man. I'm glad she lost though, because America would be in a different place right now if she had won. We would be in big trouble right now. I probably wouldn't be. We would all be censored right now, right? We'd all been censored and off away in FEMA camps. So. And that's the same thing's going to happen with I'm just playing. I don't know what's going to happen under Joe Biden, okay? But we're not going to see that, so it doesn't matter. In my opinion, we're not going to see that. Donald Trump's going to win again. And the reason, and I'm going to keep saying this because when I say things, man, these things happen, right? So I kept telling you guys about Donald. If you guys watch, Currency 365 videos, I kept telling you that Biden's taxes are going to be around 40% short term and 50% long term, and now J.P. Morgan is confirming that, right? So I'm going to say it again. The elections are supposed to be a blowout. Donald Trump should win by a landslide. But because everyone is not going to the polls, that's when it changes. So it's going to be a lot closer. It's going to be closer, and because everybody is going to be doing mail-in ballots, okay, and it's going to be a lot of fraud in the mail-in ballots. And the way the elections are going to be decided, in my opinion, is going to be those Republicans who are going to stand out there at the polling booths and making sure that they use the polling stations and not doing it by by the mail-in ballots. So it's going to look like the Democrats are going to win, in my opinion. And then once all of the polls from the people standing in line, it might be 10 degrees. Who cares? The Republicans are going to stand in line. And when those millions of people from the polling stations go in and they vote, when all of the mail-in ballots are done, liberals are going to be in the lead, in my opinion, because they are going to cheat like no other. But then once everybody stands in line at the polls, it's going to be 90% Republicans. That's when everything is going to shift red. And that's gonna stun them. Okay, so that's how I see the elections going. It's gonna be close because the liberals are gonna be in the lead because of the fraudulent mail-in ballots, and then once all of the polling stations close and those millions upon millions of Republicans standing in those freezing temperature lines and the weather conditions and hurricane conditions, whatever it is, when those votes count, it's gonna shift everything like a red wave, right? Like, you know what I mean? And it's gonna and those millions of votes are gonna come in at the end, and it's gonna shift back to Donald Trump. And I have a feeling that because the liberals are going to be in the lead in the beginning, people are going, the mainstream media, your friends and family that are liberals are going to be making fun of you. They're going to be like, Trump is gone, I told you. But they don't realize that all the people standing in line, those votes are going to count. And once the polling stations are closed, all those votes are going to be added in at the end, and it's going to shift. And they're going to be like, oh, that's a scam. They scammed it. They cheated for Trump. But no, it's just the people that are in line, that are at the polling stations, that were patient waiting, and those votes counted at the end, and boom, you know what I mean? So that's why you're going to see Washington State and California and other places reject the polling, reject the official numbers, and all. It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. The elections are going to be, results are going to be crazy. They're going to fight it to death. But Donald Trump's going to win the elections. It's going to be close. It's not going to be a blowout, in my opinion. Because of the mail-in ballots. Okay, there's just going to be too much fraud in the mail-in ballots, and so the difference is going to be the Republicans are going to be out on the polls. That's it. They're going to go to the polling stations. And that's going to be the difference. Because if all the Republicans actually stayed home and did mail-in ballots, then Biden wins by like 20%. Like Biden would win because they would cheat so bad, right? But because you're not going to do mail-in ballots, most of the Republicans are going to go to the polling station. And in my opinion, I've been saying this for weeks, that's going to be the difference. And that's going to be the red wave that comes in at the end and just wipes all that blue away and turns it red. And that's going to anger a lot of people. That's why people are going to be in the streets rioting and stuff, because that red wave is going to come in at the last hour, and it's going to piss liberals off. Somebody save this video. It's going to be on YouTube, but save this video because I've been saying this for weeks. I think that's what's going to happen, because I know a lot of people are saying Donald Trump's going to win by a landslide. I just don't see it that way. I don't see it that way because of the mail-in ballots and the fraud. Okay, so of the mail-in ballots, I just don't see it that way. As you see right now, liberals, more Democrats are voting than Republicans right now. So Democrats are actually leading in the elections right now because more of them are doing the mail-in ballots and the early ballots, the absentee balances, early voting, mail-in ballots, early voting. So the Democrats are out there doing that, but because the Republicans are going to be at the actual polling booths. So once again, I'm going to be right. I'm telling you, I'm going to be right. It's going to look like the liberals won until you count all of the people who stand at the polling station, and then the liberals are going to be like, oh, snap, here comes a red wave. We're in trouble. And then that's why they're going to go to the streets. They're going to be mad. They have to deal with Donald Trump for another 4 years. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to go irate. They're going to go outside. They're going to be frustrated. It's going to be chaos. That's why I said I'm shorting the markets once the elections are over. I'll be shorting the markets because the markets are going to go down, in my opinion. We're going to see a nice correction, and then we're probably going to see a nice uplift after that, maybe a week or two correction. Then we're going to come back up, and then we're going to probably see more corrections, and then we're going to see 15,000 Dow by next summer because Bo Peloni is a genius and he listens to God's timeline. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the Lakers game. They're gonna do it for Kobe tonight. Lakers win. I got 108 to 101 or 100. 108 to 100. Lakers. LeBron wins his fourth title, fourth MVP. And yeah, there you go. Peace out. God bless. Eyes open. Bye.